Tom, looking back, what was perhaps a favorite moment that you had from production with Richard, with Amanda, with this cast? Most of your work was with Rick. What was really a favorite scene to make? Elizabeth Lee wants to know.
My favorite one with Rick was when we were, whatever the name of the episode was, where we're eating the grass stuff and we turn into crazy people and start shooting each other. There was the scene where he's down fishing.
Yes.
And I come down and ask how he's doing, and he says, well, he's got a nibble, but hasn't caught anything. And I reach into my pocket and pull out some plastic explosive and just throw it into the water, and it explodes, and all these fish float to the top. And
that's wrong on so many levels.
It was all scripted, and then I'm supposed to go in and get the fish and start to bring them back. And my favorite, because it was me getting a chance to do something he wasn't expecting, was I got out there, and by this time I'm feeling quite comfortable on the set with Richard. So I get out there to get the fish, and I'm walking. I think I'm about waist deep. I'm picking up these floating fish, and I just start to throw the fish at him, rather than picking them up and gathering them and bringing them back, and him ducking the fish. And then, but one of my favorites, and it was the same episode, or the one following Watergate, where we're at Bobby Cox's house he's playing the senator.
Yes, Ronnie Cox.
Yeah, and Ronnie Cox, yes. And it's the end of that scene where he's got me out of jail to help him do this thing. And then somehow I've disappeared. And he gets a phone call, and it's from me, and you can hear me on the other end of the phone. And we've taken English Bay down here, and they've put up some fake palm trees, and they've hired all these extras, all the dark black extras they can find. And they ask them to dress in sort of a Jamaican kind of way, and they've got a Jamaican drum band down on the beach playing, and I'm on a phone up at the top of the hill above the beach, and I'm talking to them and saying, thank you, we'll see you, everything's fine, and I'm wearing a big straw hat. I've got Bermuda shorts on with socks, the high white socks, and the sandals, and a Hawaiian shirt, and I hang up and I walk down the beach, and I'm just supposed to walk down to I think the last shot of the episode. We're supposed to walk down to the beach towards the drum set, and I don't know, I get about 20 feet down from the camera, and this girl crosses my path, so I just grab her and start to dance with her. And we dance all the way down to the drum band, to the steel drum band, and when they no one said cut, so we just kept going and going and going, and finally they said cut, and everybody just went a little crazy. They thought it was just quite lovely. So it's one of those things where you say, well, God, I never planned anything like that. I was brave enough to do it, and it wasn't scripted, and it worked.
It's the spirit of the character in that moment, though. I mean, he's been snatched from the jaws of death, and he's happy. So they're little hallmarks for me about my growth as an actor in this business, and that freedom to do that kind of stuff that is still part of the script, mm-hmm. and acceptable, and it's actually some of the stuff that they kind of look for mm-hmm. off the scripted page. Yeah. There is a scene with you and Rick, and you had mentioned this once a long time ago, that O'Neal always thought that he had Maybourne's number, you know, that he had him under his thumb. And there is a scene where O'Neal goes to Maybourne and says, you know, Simmons says you're his former partner in the NID. Simmons says you're the traitor, and you whirl on him, and you come right back to him and says, "Do you believe that?" And it just it brings O'Neal's stunned. He's like, "I'm not used to getting this response from this character or this person. He must really mean this. There's some conviction in what I just said to him to make him respond to me that the way he is now."
Yeah. Well, the scene starts with me appearing from nowhere at the gas station as he comes out of the store, and he's pissed off at me, and he starts chasing me
around the truck,
and I'm afraid of him. You know, I'm trying to stay away from him. And then we sort of get into the conversation part of it, and then I walk away, and he says that to me. And it's when I come back straight at him, which is the tables are turned now. Like, I'm actually not afraid of you. You know, and what I've said to you so far, I mean it. It's the truth, and I do have a sense of kinship with you somewhere within me. So, that was a nice one too. Yeah.
What is it about playing redemptive characters that's so rewarding, from Scrooge to Maybourne?
Well, I don't think. Let's see.
Is it a hope for humanity?
Well, no. For me, when you get involved in characters like that, and especially like in the theater, I've played a lot of really heavy dudes. And I guess I suppose I have on TV too. But it's trying to get people to understand what's going on in his head, in the character's head, that makes them think, oh my God, I've thought that. Oh, I'm bad. I'm a bad person too, maybe. I think when I started with the character, it's to try to say he does have a point of view in the world, and it's a good one. Now, they're sort of making me one-dimensional here. But then as it progressed, just to find that his levels of desperateness, his levels of commitment, like off the bat, he was very... Off the bat, he was very rude to all of them. But even before he left the service, he could be in the same room with them. Now, there wasn't a lot of respect for him, but he could be in the room with them. And he could say something, and he could take something back from them, and consider it. So even then, he was starting to shift. Now,
and soften a little.
Now that was the writers also doing it, but was also letting the audience somewhere into his head. That what you saw earlier wasn't the whole man, and you're starting to see inside of his head now. So, like you have been somewhere yourself, and you've been hard-edged and straight at somebody. People now have that vision of you, and then when you run into them again, you realize, I should show another side of me here if we're going to have to work together.
Thanks for watching this clip from Dial the Gate. You can find the full live stream shows on our YouTube channel or visit dialthegate.com for the complete schedule. See you on the other side.